Lagos moves on hustle. 20 million people and one of the most chaotic transport systems on earth. And for years, the fastest way through it all was motorcycle taxi, popularly known as okada. Then in February 2020, the Lagos state government banned them from 6 local governments in Lagos, 9 local council areas, 10 major highways and 40 bridges. 5 years on, we're asking the same question everyone is asking. Who actually won? To understand who won, we need to understand why the ban happened at all. Between 2016 and 2019, Lagos recorded more than 10,000 accidents involving okada and tricycles. Over 600 people died. The National Orthopedic Hospital in Igbobi even opened a dedicated ward just for motorcycle injuries victims. On top of that, riders were frequently linked to armed robbery, using their speed and mobility to escape after attacks. Reckless riding against traffic, through red lights, across restricted bridges, had become the norm rather than exceptions. For the government, and for many residents tired of the danger, the ban was framed as a safe intervention, not just a traffic policy. So, 5 years later, who benefited? 1. Road safety in enforced areas. Where the ban has actually been maintained, accident rates linked to commercial motorcycles have dropped. Fewer bikes on highways means fewer high collision. Secondly, alternative transport providers. When okada pushed off major corridors, bus schemes, e-hailing services, organized dispatch companies gain ground. The state has leaned into programs like the First and Last Mile Bus Initiative to try to fill in the transport gap. Thirdly, certain residential communities. Some estates are pushed to eliminate okada riders entirely. The argument is that it has restored order and cut out crimes in their neighborhoods. But the wins come at a cost, and the cost tell heavily on some groups. Number 1, the rider themselves. Many okada operators bought their motorcycle in installment plans, with the bike costing often more than their annual income. When those bikes were seized and crushed, it wasn't just a fine, it was their entire livelihood. Some riders have reportedly paid up several thousands of naira just to retrieve an impound bike, and even then, it isn't guaranteed in areas where buses and BRT routes don't reach. Okada was often seen as the only way to complete the final stretch of the journey. Without replacement, many people, especially women, the elderly, early morning workers, were left trekking long distances. Thirdly, trust in enforcement. Multiple reports over the years describe task force officers and police using the ban enforcement as a cover for extortion, collecting bribes from riders rather than applying the law consistently. For some communities, the ban didn't remove the corruption, it just gave a new outlet. Here is the part that complicates any simple answer. The ban never fully eliminated okada, it pushed them into a cycle of disappearance and return. By 2025, residents in some areas reported that riders had quietly resumed operations, gathering at familiar bus stops and markets, catching only when word spread that task force enforcement are nearby. Lagos has continued running enforcement operations, impounding hundreds of motorcycles in race operations, but as quickly as bikes are seized in one location, they resurface in another location. There is also a darker twist. Some criminals have begun using dispatch-style motorcycle, complete with fake delivery uniforms and branded boxes to commit robberies, exploiting the fact that Lagosians are far less suspicious of delivery riders than a stranger on an unmarked bike. So, who is really winning? The answer is, no one is really winning outrightly. The government can point to safety improvements on paper, but enforcement remains inconsistent, and okada continues to operate quietly across most of the cities. Riders lost income, assets, and in many cases their entire trade, with no robust funded program to retain or resettle them. Commuters gain some order in certain corridors, but lost convenience in areas the former transport still doesn't reach. The real lesson from this 5 years policy may be simple. Banning a livelihood without replacing it doesn't remove the ban, it just pushes it out of sight. 5 years later, Lagos is still negotiating with its own streets. The okada question hasn't been resolved, it just changed shape. So here's what we want to know. Should Lagos fully regulate or integrate okada instead of banning them outrightly, or push harder for complete phase out? Let us know in the comment section. I am Taufik Fagbemi.